SCP-1678 is a full-scale mirror image reconstruction of the British city of London, located exactly 1 kilometer underneath the original city of London. Currently, only the Hyde Park district of SCP-1678 has been explored, but all buildings, at least within the explored district, correlate exactly to their surface counterparts in terms of location as well as the exterior size and shape, although rarely in terms of architecture, building material, and interior layout. The city has been constructed to resemble the city as it was in the Victorian era, with constructions designed to resemble traditional gas lighting prevalent on the streets, and with all modern buildings in the original city of London being represented in a Victorian style of architecture, most notably the skyscrapers of the business district. Illumination is infrequent and unreliable, and it is unknown how SCP-1678 has acquired a steady oxygen and gas supply. SCP-1678 is believed to have been constructed instantaneously by unknown means, with the SCP-1678 Houses of Parliament serving as the epicenter for the construction process. This is evidenced by the fact that as distance from the Houses of Parliament increase, there is an exponentially increasing frequency of flaws in the construction of SCP-1678, such as houses built entirely out of copper pipes or other unconventional materials. Gas lights being little more than a metal rod topped with a floating orb of light. Buildings containing no floors and, at the furthest explored distance from the epicenter, no windows or doors. SCP-1678 is believed to be uninhabited. SCP-1678 is believed to have been constructed with the intent to harbor the survivors of an XK-class end-of-the-world event. This is evidenced by an audio recording that will activate and play upon any person entering the city.
My fellow citizen, if you are hearing this tape, then the world as we knew it has finished. The sky has broken, the ground heaps with the tramp of terrible feet, and all the horror and madness from the dark corners of the world has broken free to exact its vengeance on the world of man. Those who sought to contain them are killed or scattered, and we soon learned that to attempt to fight these creatures is almost invariably to face one's death. Countless billions have been slaughtered in their attempt to stay their endless appetite for death. And there is nothing we could do to stop them. Evil has raised its bloody flag upon all nations of the world and crowded its unholy victory to the broken sky. Yes, this is the end. But there is a new hope. Welcome to UnLondon, a city of the survivors, a city of the free. Together, my fellow citizen, we will wait and prepare for the new beginning, the grand new world that is soon to come. Let the world above burn. We will endure. Let the monsters have their world. We will prepare. And let the ground tremble with a new Armageddon as evil consumes itself. For I tell you, citizen, upon the day of the ruination of man, their insatiable appetites will turn them against one another in their endless lust for death. We will wait. And I tell you, citizen, that there will be a new morning, and you will emerge from UnLondon and stand blinking in the sun as our children play and laugh in the bones of horror's long death. And you will walk hand in hand to the sea or faces skywards as the rising sun ushers in the new age of man. And you will gather, citizen, at my feet, as I summon UnLondon from its rest, and it shall burst, phoenix-like, from the ashes of the old. And on that day, citizen, there shall be a new order, as we raise the Union flag over the entire world. I welcome you to UnLondon, the last city, and the first.
The key threat posed by SCP-1678 is by entities referred to in some SCP-1678 audio recordings as bobbies, henceforth referred to as SCP-1678-A. These entities are constructed out of human corpses crudely dismembered at the head, wrists, knees, and elbows, and reassembled using simple industrial hinges and screws. The head is always wrapped in bandages. They are dressed in a uniform similar to a Victorian-era police and are extremely hostile towards Foundation personnel, attacking them on sight with improvised weapons. These attacks are always preceded by SCP-1678-A emitting a noise similar to that of a policeman's whistle, and all loudspeakers within 100 meters emitting the following audio recording.
Police, halt! Criminal!
Instances of SCP-1678-A are extremely resistant to damage, with only high-caliber rounds and explosive weapons proving sufficient to destroy them. They are believed to originate from a building named Bryson's Home for the Poor, as evidenced by an inmate-style jumpsuit worn under the uniform. To what extent they interact with other SCP-1678 entities is unknown. It is currently unclear what entity, being, or intelligence is responsible for the creation and maintenance of SCP-1678. It is unclear as to what event or disaster SCP-1678 is being prepared for. Initiating experiment 1678-A1. Subject of experiment instance of SCP-1678-1 recovered by strike team after breach in the security area. We will refer to test subject as A1. Commencing first test. For the first test, we will attempt to establish verbal contact with A1. Hello. Can you hear or understand this message? If you do, please move your head to the right. Can you hear or understand this message? If you do but can't move your head voluntarily, please create any audible sound. Can you hear or understand this message? If you can't produce any of the last suggested responses, please offer us any sign of controlled movement in any part of your body. It appears that subject A1 is either uncooperative with the experiment or unable to receive or understand verbal commands. Now we will attempt to establish direct response to an auditory source by emitting a high-pitched and high-powered sound source into the room. If you can understand this message, please use any means to acknowledge your response. If you don't, we will need to use other means to establish contact with you. Okay, we have no other choice. Start the emitter. The following is a high-pitched sound designed to induce physical pain in the auditory nerve. We will produce this sound for 20 seconds. If you produce any response to this sound, we will stop it and continue with the verbal interrogation. This is for your own good. Please cooperate. It appears that A1 cannot or will not acknowledge any auditory stimuli. However, it has been evidenced that these entities somehow interact with the messages produced by the loudspeakers located inside SCP-1678. The use of verbal messages from SCP-1678 loudspeakers has been discarded for this experiment due to its high chance to produce an aggressive response from A1. We will now move to visual stimuli. For the next experiment, we will use a projector to flash images and text in front of A1. We know that these entities have no eyes attached to their heads. However, we believe that they somehow have the ability to detect light due to the many battle reports from strike teams all around SCP-1678. Commencing second test then. Hello, can you understand this message? If you understand this message, please make any voluntary movement with any part of your body or emit any sound. If you can understand or identify these images, please make any voluntary move or emit any sound. Well, it seems that A1 cannot or will not acknowledge any visual contact. We will then proceed. Okay, we will move to test number 3, shock stimuli. For this test, we will emit several electric shocks with different voltages to A1. These shocks will be produced in a regular interval, playing a message in a Morse code into the skin of A1. After this test, if A1 is unresponsive, the test will end and A1 will be terminated. Okay, commencing third test. If you can hear or see any of these messages, we will proceed to emit electric shocks to your body. These electric shocks will be emitted simulating a Morse code. If you can understand any of the messages we are showing to you right now in any way, please show any controlled movement or any sound you can produce, and we will continue communicating this way. I repeat, if you can understand any of the messages we are showing to you in any way, please show any controlled movement or any sound you can produce, and we will continue communicating this way. Okay, so be it. Oh, Jesus Christ! Stop the experiment. Stop the experiment. Confirmation of code yellow. I repeat, confirmation of code yellow. Contact command now. Oh my god. What the fuck is going on there? Subject A1 is transported to infirmary with high security personnel and an explosive device attached to its body in case it becomes hostile. An emergency surgery takes place for about 10 hours, detaching the head of subject A1 from its body. DNA tests show that the head of A1 has the brain of Captain Ryan McGregor from the recon team Epsilon Gunter. The recon team had been ambushed 3 weeks ago while exploring SCP-1678. All members were lost. Code Yellow was the designation for the situation where SCP-1678 would use any body part from captured or deceased Foundation personnel for its purposes. Experiment 1678A1 has been the first documented case of Code Yellow. SCP-1678 appears to adapt to our incursion. It's using our own men or our own body parts to fight us. That man was alive and conscious inside of that body. I don't want to think what could have happened to the rest of the recon team. This is just too much for me. This is not natural.